Good day and welcome to SCO BRICS Insight, where we talk about what's really going on in the world of the BRICS. Now today I want to talk about space, no, not the void or vacuum that exists between the average politician's ears, but what Captain Kirk in the series Star Trek referred to as the final frontier. Now, recently two disparate entities made statements regarding space travel and potentially sending a manned space mission to the planet Mars. One was the new kid on the block, SpaceX tycoon and new best friend of Donald Trump, Elon Musk, who's set alight to space exploration over the past few years with his groundbreaking rocket technology. Now the other is Roscosmos, which is the grandfather of space exploration and put the first satellite into space in 1957, Sputnik, and then put both a man and a woman, Yuri Gagarin and then Valentina Tereshkova, into space before Elon Musk was the result of his mother's sexual adventures. Now it seems that Russia and the US SpaceX have entered a virtual race to be the first to plant their flag on Mars, but their planned dates for a manned expedition to the planet differ by several decades. It seems that both parties have serious differences in their target dates, and this is due to different ideas of how to get there and how to pay for it. Now, last month, both Roscosmos CEO Yuri Borisov and SpaceX CEO made statements about their plans to land a manned mission onto Mars. Now, the colossal difference is their ambition, and it's striking. According to Borisov, it's not going to be feasible for at least another half a century. 50 years. Speaking to journalists, he explained that it's such a long time frame for the expedition by both its technical challenges and the need for a careful psychological preparation of the future crew for many years in each other's company without, as he put it, the opportunity to go for a walk in the park, go down the pub for a beer, and not to mention the years away from your family and planet Earth. Now, the last Roscosmos document mentioning anything to do with Mars was dated back in 2022. The same year, Borisov reported that Russia would be technically ready to land astronauts back on the moon by 2030. But then on 28th of November, he said that there was an indefinite postponement of a flight into the Earth's satellite planet of the moon due to budget constraints in the creation of the Yensi super heavy rocket. Now, under these conditions, it's hard to imagine a disproportionately more expensive and longer expedition to Mars, which is 220 million kilometres away, rather than just 380,000 kilometres to the moon. Now, before I continue, I'd like to make an appeal. If you like and enjoy my videos, you can help me fund the channel and my website, SCOBRICSinsight.com, to further develop it. This is done by making a small donation, which you can do by clicking on the thanks button at the bottom of the video screen. Everybody who donates does get a personal thank you from me, and I'm actually thanking you all now for watching because I do appreciate every viewer. Now, Mr. Musk's forecasts are considerably more radical, just like him. Mr. Musk estimates that the first human space journey could take place before the end of this decade. Now, is he serious? Well, he does seem to come up with radical solutions, so let's not bet against him, is my view. In light of these statements, it seems that the billionaire is willing to risk becoming so bold in his ambitions that he's likely to be held up for criticism, but then again, he's always delivered. Mr. Musk also offers a pragmatic warning for such an expedition. He says, the cost of launching a payload into space must be reduced by a factor of 10,000. The current capabilities of rocket technology make the cost of a mission to Mars prohibitively expensive, and it's estimated at approximately $1 billion per ton of payload. Now, this per ton is a mere 1.5 or 0.5% of his fortune of $340 billion. But one rocket to Mars at those ratios would wipe it out and then some. Now, a significant reduction in the cost of launching a fully loaded heavy ship to Mars can only be achieved through a substantial technological shift in cargo transportation. Now, it's believed that chemical engines, whether solid or liquid, are not suitable for manned flights into deep space due to their limitations in power and efficiency since they've been used in near-orbital missions. Now, in light of this, NASA has been developing an engine that operates on nuclear thrust propulsion. for several years. The engine's capable, they allege, of at least twice the power of existing chemical engines. Probably like everything else, though, NASA's been looking at. It'll not work, and it's all been overshadowed by Musk and SpaceX, and it still relies on Russia to hitch right to the International Space Station. So I wouldn't take that too seriously. I mean, according to their system, a nuclear rocket engine is capable of covering the distance from Earth to Mars, and half the time it takes rockets using the current deliverable probes to the red planet. Now, at present, the duration of such trips is dependent on the relative position of the two planets as they orbit the Sun, with journeys taking up to 2 years. Now, for a robot, the length of the trip's not actually a critical factor. After all, it doesn't need to have any leisure, entertainment, sex, nourishment, companionship, and, plus a reduction in the time of a manned flight has also the benefit of reducing the weight of consumables, water, food, etc. I mean, where do you go for a shit? Intergalactic laxatives, So there's what they're doing. So now the testing of a nuclear engine in Russia was first announced by Vladimir Putin back in 2018. He referenced the Berezhnevtik project, which is a nuclear engine being developed for use in combat missiles. Now, I have actually asked Roscosmos for information on the possibility of installing this engine on an interplanetary rocket. Now, at the time of making this video, which is Sunday afternoon, the agency has not responded to my request. Now, NASA's actually quite more forthcoming. By its so-called innovative plans, the American agency has indicated that prototypes of an engine with a nuclear reactor will be tested in 2027. Yeah, well, we've all heard their prototypes and we've all heard their things. Now, in contrast to the power plant on nuclear submarines, where nuclear fuel heats water vapour that rotates the turbines, a nuclear plant on a spacecraft will heat hydrogen, which serves as the working fluid, creating a jet thrust to accelerate the device. Obviously, the hydrogen will have to be sourced from on the ground on Earth, but it is the lightest gas and many times lighter than any fuel for a traditional rocket. However, at present there's no operational models of nuclear reactor engines that are suitable for use in spacecraft, and they're certainly not in the United States, and Russia has not announced any. Now, the primary challenge in installing a nuclear engine on a spacecraft is its size and weight. I mean, I've talked to Pavel Bulak, who's head of mechanics and energy systems at the National Research University of Russia. And he says, engineers have got to achieve a significant reduction in the scale of a nuclear power plant and its weight to ensure it can be launched into space without the loss of power and the way it's currently done. The current weight of a nuclear reactor makes its launch into space unfeasible. It's very different from having a floating one like we have with floating nuclear reactors in there. Now, as the academic Valentin Glushko says, you could launch a skyscraper into orbit, but it's keeping it there and then getting it back that are going to be the problems. I mean, chemical engines are more cost-effective, straightforward and secure. I mean, but where are they going to get this thing? So anyway, so paraphrase this song from the late David Bowie, and will we discover, can we get to Mars, and is there life on Mars? I mean, at the end of the day, what is the point? Going to Mars, is there anything there? Space, the final frontier? Whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. If you want to help me, click on the thanks button at the bottom of the screen and make a donation, and I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.